Hi, my name is Jennifer and I'm the developer of the Easy Roller. If you've ever made a cake pop before, then you know that rolling all those little cake balls can become a time-consuming part of the process. I've developed the Easy Roller to roll 21 cake balls at a time, all 1.25 inches in diameter, and with a little practice, you too can be rolling one cake every 3 minutes. I'm going to show you how I use mine, but first we have to get the cake dough ready. Now it's time to make the cake dough. I have here a standard box cake. This is a white cake and my food processor. I have found that the food processor is the fastest, easiest, most consistent way to make cake dough. It only takes about 1 to 2 minutes and usually with no frosting at all. You can add frosting if you like it, and some cakes may need a tablespoon or so, but for the most part, the food processor will bind the cake all by itself in just about a minute. So I'm just going to stick the cake into the food processor and watch it turn into dough. The pictures you just saw were the step-by-step of the food processor. First, you put the cake in, then it turns into a fine, dry-looking crumb, and then eventually it'll pick up and start to look like this. That last picture was just a picture of the dough once I turn it into a log shape and then cut it down the middle. As you can see, there's no dry crumbs or, it's all one consistent piece of dough. So what I'm going to do is just take this out and roll it to get it ready for the frame. Now that we have the dough out of the food processor, I'm just going to roll it into a tight log shape. This will get all the air out and make the balls as sturdy as possible by really compacting the dough. Grab our frame. It doesn't really matter what size the frame is. I just like to keep it maybe a little bit smaller than the amount of dough I'm working on. I'm also going to tuck these back 2 corners in first. And then make sure I have a slight slope here. That way my rolling pin guides easily. Now if you see you have a spot that's not going to quite make it, and you have all this extra dough here, don't feel like you need to place the extra dough there to make it full. Basically, this doesn't adhere very well right here, so it's going to be a weak spot in the dough once it rolls. So I would just either leave it out or make the frame a little bit smaller so you know you'll be able to make it. Either way, it doesn't really matter. Now, if you don't like the shape your roller is rolling, basically it has to do with the amount of dough that's in this frame right here. And the way to change that is while you're rolling, you can either bend this in as you roll, and that will pull a little bit more dough out. This will help if you have an oval-shaped ball. But if you have a square-shaped ball, it's best to let the sides bow out and let all that extra dough stay in there. Just depends on your consistency and what works for you. Everybody's is a little bit different. I'm going to remove the frame. Grab our roller. And I'm going to use the wax paper here to lift the dough onto the frame, or onto the roller. Put the lid down once to cut it. And then pull off the extra here. When I take them off, I'm going to start here at the top, and then I'm going to put my hand here in the middle to support it as I take it off. So top and then middle as I take them off. Then we're going to want to lay it the other way. I start all the way down here at the bottom, that way I have more rolling room. And I only want to go 3 deep for the same reason. If your logs are a little bit short and it doesn't cover the chamber completely, that ball's not going to roll completely round. So you want to make sure that each chamber you put a dough log into is full. Then the lid is going to want to be placed just at the last log. So here I'm placing it just over that last one. I'm going to slide all the way forward until I can kind of see it coming out of the back. And then all the way back. A couple times in the middle. And that should be good enough. It will have somewhat of a rolling center. Now this is the point where the ball revolves around itself, so it's kind of hard to avoid, but it shouldn't be so big to feel like you have to re-roll it. But that is all. Now we're going to get ready to dip them. To finish up our cake pops, we're going to need a stand or something to set them in to dry. A piece of styrofoam works well too. Some sticks and some candy melts. This here is almond bark. It's what I prefer to use, but whatever you can find available. Dip the stick into the almond bark, then into the cake pop, and then drizzle the chocolate over. Make sure the cake pop is completely covered and shake off the excess. And place it to dry. Again, dip the stick, put it into the cake ball. Make sure the whole cake ball is covered. Chip off the excess and place it to dry. And there you go. To decorate them, I just take a little bit of white almond bark here and I put it into a plastic baggie. I cut a very small hole here at the tip and use that to decorate. I'm just gonna draw on the little swirls. And that's how I make my cake pops. I just wanted to say thank you. I know this video is a little on the longer side, so I appreciate you hanging in there with me and seeing how my easy roller works. If you have any other questions, please email me at info@thebestcakepops.com or visit my website at www.thebestcakepops.com. Thanks again.